In December of 2009, 156 people died in a nightclub fire in Russia. January of 2009, 64 people in Bangkok. 2004, 194 deaths in Argentina. 2003, a nightclub fire killed 100 people in the U.S. on Rhode Island. The latest addition to this list of deadly nightclub fires this past Saturday in Brazil. The maximum capacity at the Kiss nightclub in Santa Maria is 1,000 people. On Saturday night, state officials say there were twice that many people inside the club. The overcrowding made it harder for people to escape after the fire broke out at around 2 a.m. More than 230 people were killed and more than 130 others had to go to the hospital. There was a pyrotechnics show, like a fireworks display, going on inside the club, but authorities haven't said that it necessarily started the fire.
Normal for me. I don't know what normal is anymore. I never really have done, but you know, there are three parts of me. One, obviously wearing the uniform, one being the Prince Harry, and then the other one, which is sort of the private behind closed doors kind of stuff. But you know, there's nothing normal about what we've been doing for the last 4.5 months.
What he's been doing for the last 4.5 months is serving in Afghanistan. That was Britain's Prince Harry. In the British military, he's a captain. Being a prince or princess might sound awesome. Some movies like to make it seem that way, but the reality of being royalty can be a lot more complicated. For example, how do you get privacy when you're a public figure?
They call this VHR, very high readiness. It might look like downtime, but the call to fly can come at any time. It happened once in the middle of an interview.
It wasn't done in the wrong way, but it was just...
It wasn't just being able to do his job that made Harry value his deployment to Afghanistan so highly. It was the simplicity of his life out here.
Prince Harry stayed in these simple containers when he was here in Camp Bastion. It's a far cry from the palaces he grew up in.
It was while he was out here that Harry received news that his sister-in-law, the Duchess of Cambridge, was expecting a baby.
Can't wait to be an uncle. I think it's very unfair that they were forced to publicise it when they were, but that's just the media for you. But I just only hope that she gets the necessary protection to allow her as a mother-to-be to enjoy the privacy that comes with.
It's too much light there, that's the thing.
Yeah, I think it is.
Harry's own privacy is clearly a concern for the prince as well, and he made little attempt to hide it.
I never wanted you guys to be out here, but there was an agreement made to invite you out on the deal that the media didn't speculate before my deployment. That's the only reason you guys are out here.
Back home, the media glare will inevitably be brighter. Perhaps Harry's main interests himself will be getting back out to the front line as soon as he can. Max Foster, CNN, Camp Bastion, Afghanistan.
Today's first shout out goes out to Mrs. Green's social studies classes at Ames Middle School in Ames, Iowa. On what day of the week are most new CDs and DVDs released in the U.S.? Here we go. Is it Sunday, Tuesday, Friday, or Saturday? You've got 3 seconds. Go. Those new releases usually come out on Tuesdays. That's your answer, and that's your shout out.
This next segment's going to take you back before it looks ahead. Some of you might not even remember these audio cassettes. They were first introduced, believe it or not, in the 1960s. About 10 years later, video cassettes came on the scene. We've got a few of those here at CNN. 10 years after that, in the early 1980s, we saw the advent of CDs, and then in the late 1990s, we've got DVDs. So you basically see 10-year blocks between when these different types of media appeared. But according to Dan Simon, they may all soon disappear.
From VHS tapes to DVDs, Blockbuster defined a generation of technology and home entertainment. Drop by one of its remaining stores and you can still find some loyalists like Lester Yee.
Sometimes I'll keep it for a few days and watch it again, bring it to my friend's house and watch it.
But the last several years have not been pretty for anything that represents physical media. From CDs to DVDs to games to books, digital distribution has steadily eroded physical sales, causing some traditional brick and mortar chains to go under. Borders Books, gone. Tower Records, gone. Blockbuster Video, a shadow of what it used to be.
In terms of pure consumption volumes, we've already hit the stage that consumers are watching more movies digitally than they are physically. That actually happened in 2012.
Netflix, Amazon, iTunes, Hulu, YouTube, and on-demand video have redefined our viewing experiences. Plus, computers from Apple and others are ditching the DVD drive altogether. So, are we witnessing the last breath of physical media? Maybe, but analysts like Dan Cryan say it could take years to actually happen, noting that film studios still earn more revenue from hard copies.
The overall trend, if you will, is that the money is following consumption relatively slowly because there is a higher cost, higher value per transaction when you go out and rent a disc than when you watch something on Netflix.
And Redbox, the kiosk DVD business, is continuing to have success. But this statistic should give them pause. In 2012, digital streaming was expected to go up 135% and keep climbing.
What do you think? Does it matter if physical media disappear? Are there benefits to holding a book or a DVD in your hands? If you're on Facebook, head to facebook.com/CNN Student News. Tell us what you think. When I was walking into work today, I noticed that the sky looked absolutely cerulean. That's not a word you say too often, even if all you do is natter. There's a reason I'm using these rarely used words. It's not just a bunch of persiflage. Every year, professors at Wayne State University in Detroit come up with a list of 10 useful but underused words. It's an interesting idea, but what does it let you winkle? Well, the men behind it say they'd like to see the words used more often, but they aren't trying to dragoon you. They just think the words make the world a more interesting place. That may sound a little mawkish, but think about it this way. If these words don't get used, they could retract colonial style. So if your vocabulary could use some expanding, there's no need for fantods. Just sprinkle some of these words in and no one will mistake you for a troglodyte. Although they might think you're full of bunkum.
It's time for a shout-out extra credit. Which U.S. president started the tradition of throwing out baseball's first opening day pitch? You know what to do. Was it William Taft, Franklin Roosevelt, John Kennedy, or Ronald Reagan? Put another 3 seconds on the clock and go. President Taft got this tradition going in 1910. Every president since has had a chance to toss out a first pitch too. That's your answer, and that's your shout-out extra credit.
President Taft loved baseball. He played it when he was a kid, threw out that first pitch, plus a lot of people believe he started the 7th inning stretch. Taft was also one of our larger presidents, so some people might not think he'd be the first choice to be a regular racing mascot for the Washington Nationals. When the team decided to expand the event to 5 former presidents, the Nationals announced Taft as the newest name in the lineup. He'll hit the base path every home game to run for the presidency. Well, today's Before We Go comes from the Risks of Reporting file. This journalist was finishing up a report on goats at the local fair. She was even saying how friendly they were, but maybe she spoke too soon.
ABC7, would you not eat my pants? Ah!
Goat! The thing looks more like a ram. The reporter laughed it off, said it didn't hurt, but I bet it got her adrenaline going. That kind of thing could give you a real charge. And I'm guessing they won't stay in touch, even if they started off as pen pals. We've got to go for now, but we'll be back tomorrow. Have a great day.